What's up, everybody? It's Glecko here, back with yet another video. So in this video, I wanted to ask as you can see, it's a One Piece video. I wanted to ask the question, right? Could the five supernova have defeated Kaido doing on Roof Piece, right? But let's make this, on the rooftop on Onigashima, we call it Roof Piece. But let's make this interesting, right? No Big Mom. Luffy doesn't get gear 5th. Kaido is fresh, so Kaido hasn't fought the Scabbards. You know what? No, we'll give him the Scabbard fight because it doesn't really make a difference. No Yamato will be coming in. It's just the five supernova, as you see here. Luffy, Law, Kid, Killer, Zoro versus Kaido. But Kaido will be allowed his hybrid form and his flame dragon form, because those are powers he already had. He didn't have any awakening during the fight or anything. So, who wins? Short, sweet, simple. Kaido. Now, the five supernova put up a very, very good fight. But, excuse me, I'm gonna walk to the living room right quick. So, like I said, the five supernova put up a very, very good fight. But let's be real. The only real threats here are Law and Luffy. Law with his gamma knife. Luffy with his hot, well, he's the main character. Let's be real. And I do think Luffy is the strongest out of all of them here. Now, like I said, there's no Big Mom, so you're probably going, well, Law and Kid can do something kind of similar to what happened to Big Mom. Law using his awakened ability, and Kid using his what you call it? Kid using his metal, his awakening, his railgun and his damn punk. Sorry, that's what I look for. His damn punk. And maybe breaking like Kaido's bone like they did Big Mom. You want to know something? I have absolutely no evidence of this, but I don't think that would work on Kaido, right? I have Kaido significantly stronger than Big Mom and Blackbeard. And Law couldn't really, his Shock Willie and all that, he couldn't really hurt, like he couldn't break Blackbeard's arm or anything like that. So I don't think Law would be capable of doing that to Kaido. Could he use the Shock Willie and do some damage to Kaido? Yeah. But look at everything Kaido went through with Gear 5. And like I said, Luffy doesn't have Gear 5 here. I don't think that actually works. And it needs to be said, even if it could break Kaido's arm or hurt him, that's all it would do. Honestly, I think Kaido could take these 5 with a broken arm. Because remember, Kaido had brought down Zoro, Killer, Law, and Kid for a bit, and Luffy was fighting one-on-one. So, and this was Kaido who wasn't going truly all out. So, Kaido already has their number. Now, this fight's on the rooftop, so metal is limited, but Kid was using metal before, but well. Law and Kid had their awakenings only because they already had it. Luffy got his awakening during Onigashima. So, every way you look at it, right? So, Law, Kid, and Luffy are definitely the biggest ones here. And this is the order I see them getting taken out in. Killer gets taken out first. Then Zoro. Those two really couldn't do any damage to Kaido. Zoro cut him. And he got that mark from Kaido. But, let's be real. No. Killer and Zoro's taken down. Then maybe Killer. Killer goes next. then Law. Luffy fights for a while and loses. Now you're probably going to say, hold on, no. Luffy was doing good against Kaido. Luffy was going toe to toe with him. He was for a brief period, and it did look like Luffy was going to turn the tide. But eventually, when we go to the scene when Luffy was getting ready to, when the CP0 assassins showed up and cost Luffy the fight. Listen, Luffy was taken down by Kaido on the rooftop, right? After when the CP0 attacked him. He then went down and he caused mayhem on the lower floors in the Battle of Onigashima. Then he came back up when Luffy transformed into Gear 5. And then he fought Gear 5 Luffy. Look at everything he went through with Gear 5 Luffy. Luffy had to go into Gear 5 twice. And then at the end of the day, Kaido only really lost because he didn't dodge Luffy's attack directly. If he would have dodged that attack, he probably could have won. So Kaido was above Gear 5 Luffy, at least initially. Well, I'm not going to say Gear 5, like Luffy at that point because he hasn't mastered Gear 5. Point is, Luffy was at his wit's end when he was charging with that third gear bound man attack. Kaido wasn't. So even if the CP0 hadn't intervened, the CP0 agent hadn't intervened, it still wouldn't have made a difference. Kaido was probably at about 90 to 85% HP. No Gear 5 Luffy in this one. The supernovas get absolutely wrecked once Kaido gets serious. Now, this video wasn't making my point wasn't as long as I thought it would be. So let's go into and yeah, look, Law's not like totally useless. Let me walk back on this. Law's not totally useless with his awakening attacks. I just don't think it'll be enough because we see that Kaido had a different physiology from when Law first used the gamma knife on him. So, because when Law hit him with that gamma knife, I said, he's a dragon, so of course he's different. So, I'm not saying Law's useless. Law's going to do some damage, but I don't think Law and Luffy would be enough, even with Law's OP abilities. That's just me, right? Now, what will make this interesting is, another thing I thought of is if Big Mom was actually at the fight, but we give Luffy Gear 5. I still think they lose because Big Mom's a whole nother menace. Remember, Law and Kid couldn't beat Big Mom. Law and Kid could not beat Big Mom, but with Gear 5 there, Gear 5 Luffy and Big Mom. Nah, that's too much. Nah. Even with Gear 5, they can't beat two of the Yonko. They had to split them up for a reason. But yeah, I just wanted to make a short video. This is Glecko. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.